Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and my wife and I have been working on getting my son ready for his 8th grade trip. And a part of getting him ready is that we have to give him cash. Now, here in 2019, we have to give a 13-year-old cash that there's a good chance they'll lose because these teeny boppers can't keep up with anything. I like to tell my children that they could not find their butt in a dark room. That's typically what I say to them because they lose things like it's their job. And so now, but when it comes to a phone or an iPad, they're not going to lose that. So how about the day when we can just say, oh, well, I loaded your phone up with some XRP, and you don't have to worry about all that, and that they can use barcodes in stores with their phone. You see where this is going, folks? Okay, they got this from Michael at VAL, 5 links. The price of XRP, Ripple's blockchain network, has increased by 27% in 3 days. The rally of XRP comes during a period in which most major cryptocurrencies have been struggling against the U.S. dollar amidst a market pullback. And so I'm not going to go into that article. This is what's important, 27%. Okay, and then I want to show you this chart right here. This is a chart from, I don't normally show CoinMarketCap, but I'm going to show you today. I don't know what it is on my brand new computer, but one of these websites I've got pulled up is trying to drag the computer and make it slow, but we'll figure out what it is here shortly. XRP charts. This is a chart of what the prices are doing right now. And I woke up, I think I rolled over at about 3 in the morning. I saw we were up 6%. I think we got up as high as about 10% when by 7 or 8 this morning. And so let's see what we think that might be attributed to. Now, the Joker at Kia Crypto, he sent this morning, and he thinks that this has to do with the Samsung announcement. And a week later, the news comes out. As predicted, tech giant Samsung teams up with Ripple for cross-border payments. It connects more than 25 million people in 170 countries. And he's showing a tweet that he had sent out. I showed you this on October the 2nd about how he was getting pump alerts. His trading bot was getting pump alerts. And so let's look at the article that he's referring to. Tech giant Samsung teams up with Ripple partner Finabler. Is blockchain or XRP involved? It says Samsung teaming up with them. It says the company's plan to add a new feature to Samsung Pay mobile app. It's called Money Transfer and will allow people to send money to 47 countries using a variety of payment options. Samsung Pay users in the U.S. can use their existing eligible pre-registered debit or credit cards in Samsung Pay to safely and securely send money in most major currencies to their recipients via Finabler's global network. It says the company Finabler says its cross-border payments technology currently serves more than 25 million people in 170 countries. They had joined Ripple's network of banks and payment providers in December of last year. If we keep going down here, money transfer is the first step. Let's see. Down here it says, somewhere it said, okay, Samsung is joining a growing movement of big tech companies that are pushing to offer financial services, shaking up the banking industry and global remittances. So far, neither Samsung nor Finabler have disclosed whether they're considering the use of blockchain technology or the digital asset XRP. So we don't know that part yet, but it's still big time that you've got a direct tie for Samsung. Now, this right here, I believe, is even more big time. This is from Wagner, Wag the Dog, at Buy and Sell. It certainly feels like we're very close to some XRP price appreciation. SWIFT will use all avenues to process payments, but only one can settle in 3 seconds, XRP. And he's tweeting out this Bank XRP tweet. Definite follow right here if you don't follow Bank XRP. Swift, this is a guy from Swift. It looks like it's a guy that's at Sibos. Now is the time to make the world real time. How Swift and its community is meeting this demand and how cross-border payments will evolve moving forward. I watched this video, and when I was watching it, based on what the guy was saying, you could tell that Swift is very open-minded, and it's almost like he was acknowledging that Swift is going to plug in, and all of a sudden money is going to move across various different networks and platforms, is the way that I heard him to be speaking about this. And so it's very obvious this GPI is going to be plugged in, and it's going to involve other things, and I would bet you Ripple and XRP is going to be in play big time. Even if they were in play to the tune of 5%, it's retirement time, folks. Okay. I'm not going to go too deep into this, but I'll give you the gist of it. From BondCrypt, California government includes a senator, Ripple executive, and California lawmaker in blockchain working group. Implementation of government code section, Another stepping stone for Ripple to increase its usage across the U.S. This is an article about this lady, Liz Chen, Ripple Labs VP of Global Tax and Chief Tax Counsel. She formerly held Google's head of tax for the former Asia Pacific head of tax. She's joined this blockchain working group, and it says this is comes on another stepping stone for Ripple to increase its usage across the U.S. as well as joining decision makers regarding the future of cryptocurrency and blockchain projects. Just more important, smart, connected people within Ripple that are helping to ultimately push XRP adoption. And that's why I show you these things. Okay, Camo Memo at Rocky Carter Inc. sent me this, which is a great tweet from Bull Run Wonka. HSBC to cut 10,000 jobs in drive to slash costs. We know what's coming. HODL XRP. XR Patriots know. This is an article from Reuters that he's tweeting about HSBC doing all these job cuts. It's coming, folks. It's happening right before our eyes, actually. And then Peter Voss, crypto exchange Coinfield, teases secret project for XRP, launches Ripple approved validator. We talked about this the other day, but it's worth going over again because I just wanted to read a little bit of this to you because Coinfield, these guys have something cooking, and I think it's going to have a big effect on the industry and on XRP and on Ripple. So CEO Bob Ross, now remember, he was at Ripple's UbriCon this week. CEO Bob Ross is calling the upcoming project a game changer for both the digital asset and blockchain industry as a whole. This new ecosystem is the most sophisticated project ever built on top of XRPL. It is the best use case for that. We believe this will be a big step forward for the whole industry and the mass adoption of XRP blockchain. Coinfield began teasing the project last month. The exchange posted a backwards S on Twitter asking its followers for their take on the best use case of XRP. What do you think the best use case for XRPL will be? And then this was their little symbol. Last month, he dropped another line about his thoughts, potential for digital asset. We've never wanted to be only another crypto exchange in the block. Indeed, our goal from the first day was to create a new financial ecosystem that people can easily trade different assets and spend them in real time. We're getting there. Blockchain is changing our world. XRPL. This can't be bad. Anyway, the company, they're going to announce this. They're going to unveil this project in Malta at the Blockchain Summit on November the 8th. So keep your eyes open for that. Then from Chinu Patel, at Chinu Patel 29, sent me this from Shalini. She's over in India. Last week was horrible for banks. Turkey froze 4 million accounts without warning. Hong Kong ATMs ran out of cash. Indian PMC Bank locks millions of accounts. Indian police fight banks in court after RBI ban stops them from cashing out seized crypto. See where this is going, folks? Might want to get your digital assets off the exchanges. All right, now, Rand Nooner had tweeted this out, and there's some of this that I agree with, some I don't. He says days of easy 100 times returns in blockchain are behind us. Well, easy, I don't know what that exactly means, but days of 100 times returns in blockchain, I don't believe that's behind us for a minute. He says there won't be another alt season. I don't believe that for a minute. Now, it may be different in that many of what he says here, 99% of alts will go bankrupt. The next alt season, I believe, will involve a much smaller group of altcoins, such as XRP. I believe a lot of the liquidity from these 99% alts that are going to go bankrupt, I believe a lot of the money is going to flow out of those into the digital assets that have real utility as a part of them going bankrupt. So I believe that that will be a part of the next alt season. Okay. Alt season will look different, but that doesn't mean there won't be one. Adoption now important than tech. I think that adoption is going to come because of the tech. In XRP's case, 80% of exchanges will disappear. I do agree with this. That's why I keep telling you, Ledger Nano S in the description of every video I do, because your exchange could disappear tomorrow and you'll be scratching your head wondering how this ever happened. I actually spent this weekend making sure I had things secured on Ledger Nano S's. Okay, I'm not just talking about it. Number of full-time crypto people declined significantly. Well, this happens in a washout in any kind of industry. You saw it in .com. You saw it in real estate. There's a washout of people. It's kind of like, and it's what I compare this to is here in my part of the country. I know a lot of people that own land, and occasionally they have to do a controlled burn on their land. And when they burn their land, it is healthy for the environment because it creates new growth and it helps the ecosystem. And so they intentionally do controlled burns, and it thins out the brush and all of that. But what comes back is new life. And so that's what happens with all of these washouts. That's part of the reason you hear me get so worked up over what our governments and central banks do, because all this QE this, QE that, it's unnatural. It's not smart. It's to the detriment of us all. All they're doing is putting off and creating a much worse problem by doing the irresponsible thing that they call responsible and printing money and all that. It's not to our benefit. They might try to make it sound like it is in the short run, but these are not people that are being adults. Adults would do like I teach my children. Yeah, you're going to fail, but you're going to then you're going to get back up and you're going to work harder than everybody else that you know. And then there's a good chance that the rich kid's parents are going to put him in a better spot than you. But guess what's going to happen to that kid over time? That kid's going to get burned by life because his parents didn't let him get burned when he should have. Getting burned and failing needs to happen. It needs to be let to happen because that's the natural course of things. Okay. And the failure is how you build yourself into a more productive human being. It's important to fail. It's important to get burned, but it's important because if you learn from it, if you don't learn from them, then you're nothing but a dummy. But if you learn from those things, which is like what I think most people that really get burned do, is they learn the hard way, and the hard way is what helps you. Okay. And next from Michael at VAL 5 links, Germany's finance minister and vice chancellor Olaf Scholz upheld his claim for a digital euro, taking a jab at Facebook's digital currency Libra at the same time. I think, as I recall, the other day, Germany had put something out about being anti-Libra thing. So it looks to me like they've all pretty much signed Libra's death warrant, from what I can tell. This was just an interesting article. Actually, my father made me aware of this article this morning, and so I need to. By the way, he's the official father and the official global economic advisor for the Digital Asset Investor channel. So when he passes things along, I have to take them serious. This was an interesting article that I had not seen from October the 2nd. Opinion, $322 million, how the SEC should settle with XRP, with Ripple Labs over XRP. It's just one guy's take, and he's talking in here about how the $21 million slap on the wrist for block.one with EOS. But then as you go through it, he makes some interesting points in here. It's not just some hit piece. But I wanted to read the last part here at the end for you. He says, let's see. I think it was this part. No, maybe it was this part. I'm trying to find. No, it's down here. I'm sorry. Potential fine 13 point times. So he's saying 322 million is what he thinks the fine would be for Ripple. He says while he says since Ripple has been unlocking 1 billion tokens per month recently, awarding themselves around 8.5 million per day. That fine might take almost 38 days to pay off. And while Clayton's brain is difficult one to understand, we believe Ripple has ruffled some feathers that tickle it. Don't be an American company. Don't sell tokens to Americans. Don't make price promises and stop selling tokens after GAO report. Hopefully this will help launching pad for Jay Clayton to begin forming a settlement with Ripple. Where's the part I wanted you to? Implication that Ripple's a thing. Well, I've lost my place. Here's what I wanted you to read you. This is from Ripple's lawsuit. Yeah. And this is what Ripple wrote in their lawsuit. In its motion to dismiss lawsuit against it, Ripple Labs and Brad Garlinghouse lawyers assert that XRP coins are not securities, but have been deemed virtual currencies in a federal case against Ripple in 2015. This is from Ripple's attorney. In fact, as recognized by the U.S. Departments of Justice and Treasury in 2015, XRP is a convertible virtual currency. It is correctly characterized as a currency under applicable law and as such need not be registered as a security under federal and state securities regulations. So I just thought this was interesting because it's a different take, and I didn't read this as the guy putting together some hit piece on Ripple. It's just a guy that seems to be trying to logically think this out, how they could get out from under all this, that type of thing. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe and hit the like button. And tell your friends and family that XRP is up 27% over the last 3 days. Thank you for listening.